Long ago, on the fertile banks of the Tiber River in Italy, a small, unassuming village of farmers and shepherds was born. This settlement, nestled among 7 hills, held a destiny far greater than anyone could have imagined. It was a place that would one day grow into a sprawling metropolis, the heart of a mighty empire that would rule the known world, a city that would echo through the annals of history forever, Rome. The origin of this legendary city is shrouded in myth, a dramatic tale that intertwines divine will and human ambition. The most famous of these legends tells the story of 2 twin brothers, Romulus and Remus. Born of a mortal priestess and the god of war, Mars, their very existence posed a threat to the reigning king. Fearing they would one day usurp his throne, the king ordered the infants to be abandoned, left to perish on the banks of the flooding Tiber. But fate, or perhaps the gods, had other plans. The basket carrying the babies washed ashore, where they were discovered and miraculously saved by a Shiva. She nurtured them as her own cubs in a cave, the Luperca, until they were found by a kind shepherd who raised them to manhood. When they grew up, they learned of their royal lineage and, driven by a shared vision, returned to the place of their salvation to build a city. However, their bond was shattered by a fierce argument over which of the 7 hills to build upon and who should rule. The dispute escalated tragically, and Romulus, consumed by rage, killed his brother Remus. Standing alone, he became the first king of the city he founded, naming it Rome, an eternal monument to his name and his victory. In its earliest days, Rome was a monarchy, ruled by a succession of 7 kings. This period, lasting over 2 centuries, saw the city expand its influence, establish its foundational religious and social institutions, and grow from a small village into a significant regional power. The kings oversaw the construction of crucial infrastructure, including the first forum and major temples. However, this era of royal rule was not destined to last. Over time, the people grew weary of the absolute power wielded by their monarchs, culminating in the tyrannical reign of the last king, Lucius Tarquinius. His arrogance and cruelty pushed the Roman people to their breaking point. Around 509 BC, a noble uprising drove the hated king into exile. This pivotal moment marked the end of the monarchy and the birth of a revolutionary new form of government, the Roman Republic. This new system, known as res publica, or the public thing, was designed to prevent any single individual from gaining absolute control. Power was now shared among elected officials, chief among them to consuls, and a powerful senate composed of the city's elite patrician families. Under the Republic, Rome flourished. It was an era of unprecedented expansion and innovation. The Roman military machine, centered around the disciplined and highly organized legions, became an unstoppable force. Roman soldiers, citizen farmers, who took up arms for the state, marched relentlessly, conquering neighboring tribes and city-states across the Italian peninsula. With each victory, Rome's territory and influence grew. To consolidate their new lands and facilitate the rapid movement of troops and goods, the Romans became master engineers, constructing an extraordinary network of durable, straight roads that connected the burgeoning republic. These roads, famously proclaimed to lead to Rome, became the arteries of its power. Along these routes, the Roman language, Latin, and its culture spread, unifying a diverse collection of peoples under a single identity. Yet, the very success that made the Republic strong also planted the seeds of its downfall. As vast wealth from conquered lands poured into Rome, it created a massive gap between the rich and the poor. Power brings greed, and soon, the corridors of the Senate were filled with corruption, as rich senators and ambitious generals vied for personal gain and ultimate control, turning the political arena into a battleground. From this crucible of political turmoil and social unrest, one figure emerged who would tower above all others: Gaius Julius Caesar, a man of immense talent, charisma, and ruthless ambition. Caesar was a brilliant military general, a masterful politician, and a gifted orator. He dreamed not just of influence, but of ruling all of Rome, believing he alone could restore order and glory to the fractured republic. His military campaigns in Gaul brought him immense fame, fortune, and the unwavering loyalty of his legions. As his power grew, so did the fear and envy of his rivals in the Senate, particularly Pompey the Great, The conflict between these two titans of Rome escalated into a full-blown civil war, a struggle that would tear the Republic apart. Caesar's audacious crossing of the Rubicon River with his army was an act of treason that signaled his intention to seize power, an event that would change the course of history forever. His subsequent victory and rise to the position of dictator for life marked the final, fatal blow to the old Republican system. The institutions that had stood for nearly 500 years crumbled under the weight of his ambition, heralding the fall of the Republic and paving the way for the rise of an empire. This is only the beginning. The legend of Rome had just begun.